Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And today we're going to be talking about knowledge is power.
See that?
That's right. You know, when you're going through a breakup, you kind of feel like you're lost, you're in the dark, you have no idea what's going on, and it is overwhelming, and it really is a very difficult thing to navigate. And then you go online and you see all kinds of different kinds of information and contradictory information, and you're like, what do I do? Well, many of you guys are going to want to do the easy thing. Oh, the handwritten letter or the clean slate message, the good reminder text, all those things that are giving you the excuse to contact your ex, which is what you want. But what we have found is that the strongest thing is to walk away and to leave somebody alone.
Right, and it can be so confusing when you are bombarded with different advice from all different types of outlets, and you're also trying to figure out what sits right with you. So we're hoping that through these videos, through this channel, we can give you some sort of guidance based off of our experience, also based off of what we know about breakups, relationships, grief, and all of these things.
And of course, when you're doing a call with us, it's very different than when you're just watching the videos, because we're hearing your story, we're looking at little nuances that we can't get into the specifics in the videos, and we're telling you what we would do in your situation. So it's very different, and so a lot of people feel a lot better after they do a call with us.
Right.
But sometimes you're not ready to hear the stuff we have to say. And we're going to talk a little bit about this today. And I understand, because when you're in a breakup, all you want is to hear from your ex, and all you want is to get them back. And anything other than that, from friends, family, whoever, makes you upset. You don't want to hear it. You kind of tune it out. But it's important that you do your best to try and take everything in and think about the things that we teach in the videos. You know, because we're trying to educate you, and that will empower you in a lot of different ways. Because we tell you guys all the time, if you don't get your ex back, we still want you to have a successful relationship with somebody, at least with yourself, right? And so the more you educate yourself, the more empowered you're going to feel. The more you learn about mental health and attachment and how to be a good partner, the more likely you're going to have a success story, and the more likely you're going to work through your own attachment issues.
Right. And chances are that a lot of these concepts that we do talk about in these videos apply to your situation somehow.
Yeah.
So really pay attention, increase your awareness, see what we talk about, see if there are any instances in your own situation that you can relate to it.
Yep. So we got a good email today. This is a success story from somebody that wanted to share what was going on with them. They said, "Hi, Craig. My name is C. I'll just call her C. I don't know if she wants us to give her name. And we spoke over a Skype call in November of 2022. Your videos helped me through one of the darkest periods of my life. It was the only thing that brought me comfort in my moments of pure despair. I was a mess. I had no appetite. I shed endless tears and would even wake up in cold sweats in my sleep." I had those too.
My gosh.
Those are the worst.
Yeah.
Cold sweats. I used to have them every night, right? It's like, I would remember getting up like several times to change like what I was sleeping in, because it was just like these cold sweats. They're awful.
The night times and the mornings were always the worst. Are always the worst during a breakup.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you first wake up and the realization hits you of, wow, this is really over. Wow, this is really happening. This isn't just a bad dream.
Yeah, because you're alone with your thoughts at
Yeah.
night too. Like, it's hard to fall asleep. You keep dreaming about the person. You can't keep them out of your thoughts when you're sleeping. It's a lot.
Yeah.
She says, "I listened to you at work, in the car, at the gym, in the shower, and always fell asleep to your videos." I mean, I hear this almost every day.
In the shower?
In the shower.
The phone's getting like battery damage as you're listening.
Listen, when you're going through it, you need any kind of relief you can get.
It's true.
"It was to the point that even you and Margaret showed up in my dreams."
Wow.
That's a separate email. I couldn't read what happened. "To be honest, I was initially angry at you after our first Skype session because you said some things that hit deeply. How you thought my life would be miserable if we ended up back together. How he is clearly an avoidant and he will not be able to fulfill all my needs. How the excuse about him focusing on himself was BS, and I'll keep it clean, but that's not what she said. After a couple of months, I realized I was only angry because you were telling me the truth the entire time, and I did not want to believe it. And sometimes that happens.
I definitely understand that. You know, denial is really powerful. It is one of the 5 stages of grief, and it's our body's way and our mind's way of saying we cannot handle the truth right now. We as therapists, we as coaches are put in a very difficult position to where we have to meet you where you are at as the client.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes there's things that are visible to us that won't be visible to you. Just likewise, there are things that are visible to your friends and family that aren't visible to you. So it's our job to communicate these things to you in a way that will reach you, and sometimes it's hard to do that. A lot of times it's hard to do that.
Yeah, and sometimes you guys are presenting one way, but there's a lot going on with you that we don't know because maybe we only do one call with you, you know, and so you may be upset about it, and we don't know. You know, we just do the best we can to understand what's going on in your situation, answer your questions, tell you what we would do, all kinds of stuff like that. But it's not easy, and when you're going through a breakup, people are very vulnerable, they're very hurt, they're very angry. And so they often take it out on other people.
Yeah, especially in the helping profession. You know, when somebody else that you're going to for guidance, for advice on a situation tells you the thing that you are most terrified to face, of course it would make you angry. Of course it would make you resistant.
Yep.
So just realize that, you know, of course not all therapists are going to be able to see things the same way. We do encourage you to talk about it, seek therapy, but also seek therapists who are trained in attachment, who are trained in relationships.
Yeah.
You know, they can give you a clear view of these things.
Yeah. So every situation is very different, and we don't always know what's going on with you or how bad the breakup has been affecting you because we have a limited amount of time with you. I mean, some people do coachings with us weekly, some more often, some only once. So, you know, we're trying to do our best to help you with what limited time and information we have with you, right? But let's go on. Now, you guys understand that we do this all day, every day, okay? And we have for a long time. So we see things more clearly than most people will. Friends and family, they don't understand this stuff. And when you're hurting, it's really hard to see things clearly.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You feel like you're the only person going through this struggle. A lot of times breakups can feel extremely isolating. You know, like you said, every situation is unique. So it's hard to really express to somebody else what you're feeling, what you're going through, what you think is the best decision for yourself.
Yeah. But we tell you what we see, okay? And we try to be honest with you about that, you know, like I said, with the time that we have with you. Sometimes it's not easy to hear, but a lot of times we're right about these things too.
And we would rather you be angry and livid and pissed at us and still deliver you the truth than to say what you want to hear and then you end up in a situation that's not going to be
toxic or unhealthy. And we've seen other coaches I hate to say it, but encourage people to stay in really toxic, unhealthy situations, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked about that. But let me go on here. What happened, right? Because she said, after a couple months, I realized I was only angry at you because you were telling me the truth the entire time, and I didn't want to believe it. Turns out, he was cheating on me 3 months prior to our breakup. You were right. It was BS. And she didn't write BS. You can fill in the blanks. If someone had told me last year that I would get over my ex, I would have never believed them. Because I remember I made it my life mission to get him back. After some time, I realized his absence actually brought me peace. And it was just my attachment issues. I finally reached a point where I have no feelings towards him and I don't even want him back. I'm not bitter or upset that this happened to me because I came out a stronger person because of it. And that's what we want regardless of your ex. We want you to be empowered. We want you to be enlightened. We want you to be in a better place where you've worked through your own issues and you're mentally healthier and stronger. Right? The learning experience I got from my breakup was priceless. I worked on myself. I purchased your workbooks, went to therapy, went to the gym 6 times a week. I've lost 15 pounds. And lastly, I met someone new who treats me like a princess. From what I learned in your workbooks, it is evident that he has a secure attachment style.
All right, way to go.
Yeah, and that's why we try and empower you guys. So you can see who's healthy, who's not, what's healthy, what's not. Recognize those behaviors within yourself and the other people that you date so you can navigate your relationships much easier, right? I do not remember the last time I was this happy with my life, and you played a huge role in leading me to where I am today. So thank you so much, Coach Craig. Although I did not get my ex back, I got myself back. That's a great success story.
Yeah.
And some of you are like, no, it's not. You didn't get your ex back.
She's in a very healthy relationship now, it seems, where somebody is treating her very well. She's discovered so much about herself. She's learned about attachment styles, people, being able to identify other people's attachment styles. I think this is a huge success.
Completely empowered herself here. And you heard it herself. She says, I can't remember, this is the happiest I've ever been, right? I do not remember the last time I was this happy with my life.
Wow.
How is that not the ultimate success, right? Happiness, regardless of what happens with your ex, is the ultimate goal. Happiness, right? That's what we want for you guys. This is a great success story. And, you know, maybe at this point she hasn't heard from the ex, but don't be surprised if she does. She's probably still watching the channel, so maybe she'll give us an update.
Yeah, and for her to go through this process of discovering that her partner had not been faithful to her, working through all of these emotions. You know, I'm sure coming out of this, she had a lot more resources, knowing what to do. Okay, this next relationship's going really great. Regardless of how it goes, I know that I'm going to be okay. This is the type of attitude that I'm reading from this email.
Yeah.
That she's been able to grow in her own confidence through this.
Yeah, I love it. And, you know, she was hurting at the time. You know, she didn't even know that this guy was cheating on her. And so she was buying into his BS excuses and the things that he was telling her about focusing on himself. And I'm sure she said a lot of stuff on the call that I was like, hold on, this isn't adding up for me, you know, and she didn't want to hear it. But now she found out he wasn't being honest with her. We were. I was being honest with her.
And you'd be surprised. You know, we have many situations where people are in relationships and things are going on behind the scenes that they would never have suspected. You know, situations where they've known the partner for many, many years, have been married to them. But, you know, we are trained in this. We see patterns. We talk to so many people in different situations that go through this. So, you know, we can sniff out some BS a lot quicker than...
Yeah, it's true. And I'll tell you,
sources.
the first reason that I picked Victoria to come on board with us was many, many years ago. The first thing that I noticed about her that was different than most other people was that she was great at sniffing the BS. Remember? I would say, how do you see that? She was really insightful in picking that up. And of course, that was many, many years ago. I mean, that's like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think so.
But there are very few people that can pick up on these things with breakups. That's why so many people give bad advice, because they don't see these things. But she had an innate ability that I was like, okay, one of the few people I can trust to talk about a breakup. She gets it.
But I understand when you're in it, it is so difficult to see these things.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in it, you're blinded by these love feelings chemically. You're blinded by these feelings and overwhelmed by them. You know, it can be hard to face the truth when the truth means letting go of somebody who has shown you this type of love and affection.
Yeah.
Even if it comes with some other toxic patterns.
Yeah. But this is a great success story. And we want you guys to share your success stories with us, regardless of what happens with you and your ex. You know, we love to hear positive stories like this, but you got to do the work. She's worked really hard. You could hear all the things that she did to change her life. But now look at her. She's happy and things are going great. And so that can be you too. But you have to stay motivated. You know, you have to continue to learn, to educate yourself, to empower yourself with knowledge, with all the things that we teach, going to therapy, doing the workbook. She's been working out, all these great things. The only one that can stop you from that is you, okay? So stay motivated, and we're here to help you along the way. So if you want to get our help personally, you can get that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Victoria also does Skype coaching.
I'm here to chat if you would like. And also remember that these coaching calls are a conversation. So if there is ever anything that we suggest or that we see that doesn't sit right with you, talk with us. You know, we want to see where you're at and help you understand us better. We want to help understand you better too. So just remember that.
That's a great point. And that's actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about in an upcoming video is I get a lot of clients that come to me that have felt pressured by other coaches to do things. Like the coach was literally kind of like saying, you need to do this. You need to do this right now. You need to break no contact and send this message. And I've had people very, very upset on the calls. I'm not going to say what coach it was, but one coach has been particularly pushing for breaking no contact to send a message, and these people have been coming to me very upset about that. So when we give you advice, one of the things I always tell you guys is this is what I would do if I was you, because I always want you to know that I'm putting myself in that situation, and I'm never going to tell you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself.
Right. Ultimately, the decisions are yours.
Yes.
So remember that. Keep that in mind. We're here just to guide you, to give you our knowledge from what we know, from our experience, but we also want to understand where you're coming from too.
Absolutely. Okay, so hopefully this has been helpful to you, but that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.